Welcome to the official Jets podcast powered by Amazon Web Services. We're here in the Play MGM studios. Ethan Greenberg, Eric Allen, Jamison Crowder. Jamison, thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
All right. So before we dive in here, Halloween recently passed. I just want to get your power rankings of candy bars.
Wow.
Yeah, I figured it was topical. Halloween's recent. Feel like before we get into the Thanksgiving spirit, we got to get some candy power rankings from Jamison here.
Okay. I only eat like 3 candy bars anyway.
All right, that's great.
So,
keep it short.
Number 1 would have to be a Baby Ruth.
Wow,
Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth.
Number 2 would be a Snickers. And number 3 would be a Almond Joy. I don't know if they count, but Almond Joy.
It counts.
I love Almond Joy.
I don't know if I've ever had a Baby Ruth.
I don't know if I've ever had an Almond Joy.
Almond Joy, man. I love Almond Joy. You ask my lady, my girlfriend, like anytime she goes in the store, like, you know, if I'm getting some gas, she want to go in and get some.
Almond Joy.
She knows what to get.
But how often is a guy like you having candy? Can you do anything you want during the season? Because you don't have much body fat.
Right, and like I said, it's not. Yeah, I'm not eating it. I'm not eating a candy bar every day. You know, It's just, you know, every now and then. Like I said, it may stop at the store, pump gas or whatever, or this bit. Well, not pump gas in New Jersey because y'all don't.
Yeah.
Do you like that, by the way?
Yeah, that's cool.
Did you know that when you first came here?
No, I didn't. I didn't actually. So I actually found out that it was like that. It was an off season. I was at Duke training. And one of the trainers that work in the training room, she's from New Jersey, lived in New Jersey for a long period of time. And she explained that to me. Because, you know, in North Carolina, we have just, you know, convenience stores, you know, with the gas. You get out, pump your own gas, you go in.
Self-serve.
You know,
you mean like every other state in the country?
Yeah. Basically, you know, get your drink, get your candy bar. But up here, you know, like the first time I had gone, like I said, she had to wear me. You know, she let me know about it. And it was weird. Like, first time I went there, you know, the guy came up to my window, and he was like, yeah, what you want? I'm like, yeah, you get 93 or whatever, you know. So it was kind of weird, but it's cool, though. I like it.
What's your favorite cheat food?
My favorite cheat food, I probably have to say, like, just like some chicken wings. Like, I love Wingstop back home.
Okay.
I haven't found a Wingstop out here.
No, because that sounds foreign to me, a Wingstop. I don't know if we have any up in New
Yeah.
Jersey or New York.
Nah.
No Wingstop.
What?
I mean, like, I feel like if you're looking for chicken wings, you just got to find a barbecue joint.
Right,
That's
yeah,
it.
Right. But
Dinosaur Barbecue. There's one in Syracuse. There's one in Brooklyn.
There's one in Newark.
There's one in Harlem. That might be your
and
best
what is it
bet.
called?
Dinosaur.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dinosaur Barbecue.
Originated in Syracuse, right, Grace?
Yeah, first one.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty. Well, yeah, I might have to check that out. But back home, Wingstop, man. I love Wingstop.
So what has the transition been like for you? You grew up in North Carolina. You went to Duke.
Mm-hmm.
You played in Washington, which I consider somewhat Northeast, but this is really Northeast now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a little bit of a different, you know, transition, but I think that, you know, I've adjusted well to it. You know, just still trying to learn my way around this area. I'm not looking forward to the winter. I'm not, to the
But there was
snow
winter
and
in
things.
Washington
Yeah,
too.
it was. But a lot of times while I was there, you know, I would miss it. You know, that winter storm would probably come in more so like late January, early February.
Sure.
So, you know, a lot of guys would you know, would get out of town or be gone by then. But yeah.
So weather's a significant difference. What else? So you see a change in people up here?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, you know, a lot of people
got attitude.
You know, not everybody though. It's not as you know, back home, you know, everybody is, hey, how you doing, you know, and speaking and everything. But up here, you know, it's just more so you got to just, you know, go about your business. You know, the driving up here, they drive crazy.
Are you a conservative driver?
No, I'm not a conservative driver, but I'm just like, you know.
People driving mad.
Right. Like, you know, every time I go to the hotel on Saturdays, I get on, I go around like the back way on Interstate 80, I want to say.
Okay, yeah.
I go Interstate 80, and it's like, man, the speed limit, I don't know, 65, 70. And I, you know, sometimes I kind of, you know, if it's 70, I might go 74, 75. Man, this car is just going. I'm like, man, ain't no way they going 75. They got to be going like 85. So
yeah, that sounds Northeast to me.
Yeah, and then I went out to the city a few times, and all you hear is the horns. You know,
yeah.
The light just turned green. Horn. I'm like, man, could I put my foot on the gas?
Man, I feel
cool.
like ashamed because I'm from Manhattan.
Yeah, but no, it's cool. I you know, it's I like it because like every time I go to the city, it's like I get a little bit excited because I'm not really used to being in a big city like that or just being in this area in general. So
have you taken the train to the city, or you drive in all the time?
Well, normally depending on where I'm going,
Yeah.
I'll Uber. But before the season started, there was times like I went out there on a Saturday with my family and stuff, and I drove out there, and the driving wasn't as bad. Kind of in that Times Square area, it was congested, yeah. But me and my family went on the event. We did a tour of the One World Trade Center, and we found the parking garage not far from there, and it wasn't that bad. So I think I can manage getting around a little bit.
How impactful was that for you going down to World Trade?
Oh man, that was unique. That was cool. To go see that. Just to think back to when that happened. I remember I was in like the 3rd or 4th grade,
sure.
And at the time, I didn't really understand what really was going on, but just knowing, how tragic and how significant that day was in like U.S. history, and seeing the Ground Zero where they had the water thing. So that was a cool experience, and that's stuff I like to do, in my downtime when I have time, just go out there and see different things.
What's the biggest difference between, let's say, New York City and D.C.?
Well, for one, the buildings, the skyscrapers. D.C. they didn't really have. I guess just the architecture they don't have tall buildings, so
you can't have them because of the monuments there. I think there's
monuments and all kind of stuff. They got like a no-fly zone in certain areas and stuff. But I think I don't know, like you said earlier, DC, it's a little bit. You kind of getting into like the Northeast. You can definitely feel that, but it still got a little feel of like Southern a little bit. But DC was unique. It was a lot of things to do out there. It was always something to do. Not as much, I would say, as New York, obviously, but DC had a lot of nice, restaurants, going to see the monuments, Smithsonian, and things of that nature. It was always something to do. So DC is definitely, one of my favorite cities.
You talked about your family a little bit. How close are you guys? Talk about your parents. And your brother, of course. Is it just the two of you?
Yeah, just the two of us. Yeah, just the two of us. My parents, they I get a lot of my mentality, a lot of my thinking from them. They raised me well. They taught me, from right and wrong, and they tried to always have me involved in something, from a young age, just so I could, be successful or at least, get exposure to things that a lot of my friends, a lot of my friends and people I grew up with, wasn't necessarily getting that exposure. So yeah, my family, man, we've always been close, and and then my little brother, they try to do the same with him, try to expose him to things. It's a little different. It can be challenging at times just because, he deals with disability and can't speak and stuff like that, but they want to make, his life very similar to how I grew up. So
also, though, about your brother, he loves sports, and I saw this. I think Duke
Jamaris, right?
Jamaris, yeah.
Jamaris.
He did I think Duke did a video that I watched the other week. The relationship between you, your parents, your brother, and you guys would go out, meaning you and your brother Jamaris would play hoops together, and you do everything together, even though there's an age difference there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we would go up to the park, just to get him out the house. He hasn't been as active as I have been, obviously with sports and things like that. But it was just things just to do, just get him out the house. I can get out the house. We go up to the park right up the street, from where our house was at, and we just go up there and shoot basketball or just go over there and play on the playground set or whatever it may be. Just like any other sibling, brother type activity. So, like I said, we always me, my family, we've always tried to make him feel just, like everything is as normal as possible.
And he obviously lives with Down syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean in terms of your communication? Because you talked about it before. He can't speak. Right. So how do you guys go about having that connection? Because everybody talks about Jamison says that bond is truly unique. It's something that you can see. You don't even have to see any verbal communication.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like you said, he can't speak, but he's still smart. Like, he knows, right from wrong and stuff. He, sometimes, he's a teenager. He can.
How old is he now?
Well, he's 16. He'll be 17 in December. So, I think sometimes Jamar tries to manipulate us, in a way, because he can, he can be a handful at times. But like I said, with communication, if he wants something, he'll go and get it, and he'll bring it to you. If it's a bag of chips, he'll get the chips, eat them, So, but it's just that verbal communication, and we've tried to get into like the sign language and stuff like that. He knows some sign language, so that's another way that my folks kind of communicate with them, just like on basic sign language, like eat, stuff like that. Like,
do you know sign language?
I've tried, like I said, just like some of the little basic things. Like, I'm not really that advanced in it, but just some of the basic things, like eat and stuff like that. He'll try to pick up on that from time to time. But if you be like, Jamar, you want something to eat? Then he'll come with you or whatever. He knows. And then like times where we ride in the car, North Carolina, we have Bojangles, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So we may pass a Bojangles, and he may want something to eat, and he may start fussing. Just kind of start fussing a little bit. And that's letting us know that he's hungry or he sees something that he wants. Now, every time we don't stop, because sometimes he just has something to eat, but he wants something else. But those are ways that we picked up on, what he wants and things like that. So,
how frequent are those FaceTime conversations between you and your parents and your brother?
Yeah, they pretty frequent. My mom just got a new phone, so her phone was messing up like 2 weeks ago. But they're pretty frequent though. I always talk to my folks, talk to him like every day. And some days, sometimes you may go 2-3 days not speak to him, and my mom be like, I ain't heard from you. So she always checking in on me. So. It's frequent. It's always weekly.
Sure. And it's FaceTime or it's phone or over the phone?
Both.
Or either?
It can be FaceTime, over the phone, either or. I'll talk to my dad. My mom, she may still be at work, getting ready to get off, whatever. My dad had called me, and my dad, he just recently retired. So
what did he do?
So he was a coach and an educator. He taught at my middle school. So he taught for a long time.
What?
25, 30 years. He was he was a social studies teacher and a coach. So when I was coming through, he was my coach. He coached the middle school basketball team. So he was my coach in middle school.
How was he as a coach with his son?
He was. Was
it tougher for you than the rest of the kids?
Nah, it wasn't tougher for me. It wasn't tough for me because he wasn't really like that. If I did something wrong, he let me know. But middle school level, man, we had a really good team. And see down there, like like the way the rules are set up, you had to be in 7th or 8th grade to join the team. Mm-hmm. So both years we were really good. Only lost like 3 games. Both years combined. So it wasn't really a lot. It wasn't really getting on me too much. We was winning, the majority of the time. So
when you were playing point, were you one of these new age guys as far as score first, or you were dishing first?
Oh no, I was more. I was more of a facilitator.
Yeah.
I could score. Sometimes that was one of the things that like my folks or my dad used to always, kind of tell me on the side, like I was like a very unselfish player, and sometimes I would be unselfish to a fault. Like I was always trying to, get everybody involved, make a nice pass and stuff, instead of scoring, just an easy layup or whatever. So. But
I could see you picking some people's pockets too.
Yeah. I used to, play the passing lanes. I get a couple steals, man. Go down and get a couple dunks, But
At what age could you dunk?
So I'm gonna tell you, my first time I dunked was it was after my sophomore year, going into my junior year. That summer, I had gone to a 5-star basketball camp down in Virginia at Hampton-Sydney University, a little small school. And me and my cousin, we went to the camp. And so, like, it was like the first day that we got there. It was like the check-in day or whatever. And there was a couple guys that already checked in to the camp that were there. And they was in there just shooting ball in the gym. So we just went in there and started shooting a little bit, started playing a little, 21, whatever it was. And so I got the ball one time. I threw it up, and it bounced, went up and dunked it. And my cousin was like, man, hold on. He was like, it's crazy. And that was the first time. So that was my first time dunking. Like, that was my first time dunking.
What about first time dunking in a game?
First time dunking in the game was my junior year. So first time I dunked was going into my junior that summer. And then my junior year against Piedmont High School, I stole the pass and went down and just dunked it. And I guess, it surprised a lot of the fans, 'cause a lot of people knew me in my area.
I'm looking at your hands. You got big hands, though.
Nah, they're not that big, but I like.
For me,
yeah. And it surprised a lot of people, and and they was like, "Dang, he dunking." So like,
the crowd go wild.
Yeah, they went crazy.
Yeah. But can you palm it?
Yeah, I could.
See,
It depends. I could
can't
palm
do
it.
that.
Yeah, but like when
I
would dunk though, I never palmed it though. Like I would cuff it. Like,
oh, you would
cuff? Yeah. So that was like the crazy thing about it. Like I could never just palm it in the game. Like I can palm it if I just put my hand up or just picking it up. But in the game, like, I couldn't get my hand wasn't that big.
You weren't going ISO, putting the ball.
Yeah,
up
I
like
wasn't
that?
doing all that. Yeah, I wasn't. I couldn't do all that.
Did you ever take a tennis ball? That's what we used to do when we were kids because we couldn't palm it, but we'd lower the rim a little bit and take the tennis ball and try to bring it down.
But no, I never did that. I never did that. It was I know like in like ninth grade, I had got like these. They just had these shoes called strengthening shoes, and it was like you walk up. It's like on the front part of your shoe is like a little plate, so it kind of forces you like to walk on your toes, and it's supposedly supposed to like
strengthen the muscles.
Yeah, strengthen your calf muscles. So like me and my cousin, we were just fascinated with trying to dunk, so we had got like strengthening shoes and all kind of stuff. But I think looking back, it was just kind of like as you mature, got a little older. That's for me. That's all it was. Like as I mature, got a little older, got a little more explosive. I don't think the strengthening shoes worked at all.
Well, don't tell them that because they're trying to make some money.
Right, but I really haven't seen them.
Yeah, that's fair. They're probably gone by now.
Man, I think that was just the thing during that, during that time.
So you talked about your pops a little bit, the social studies teacher, recently retired. He also played ball himself in college. But what about your mom? What did she do, and how much of an influence did she have on you?
She's had a huge influence on me. She works now for a company called Teledyne Allvac. They like specialize in making like titanium for like airplanes and stuff like that. So she works like in accounting for them. It's a plant that's in my city and in my town, and she's been there. She's about to retire also. So she's been there for a while. But yeah, she's the one that really keeps me going, and every day always trying to tell me something where I need to get better at. Like coming through school, it was just always like she was always the one that was pushing me to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do in the classroom and stuff. Even though a lot of times I just wanted to kind of do what I need to do to get by, but she was like, nah, you got to, go the extra step, instead of getting A, instead of having a B, get that A or, right, whatever it may be. So yeah, she was the one that always wanted me to do the extra, go the extra mile. So.
And are you more like your mother or your father?
Oh man, I say I think I'm more like my dad, cause my dad a little bit more laid back, a little bit more laid back. Shit, my mom, she's very like vocal, very expressive, very like she likes to be in charge, and I'm not really like I'm not really like that, but I ain't just gonna put myself out there and just start out being vocal and stuff. So I'm more like my dad. I'm more like laid back, chill. So
why did you choose sociology as your major at Duke? Man, you got a minor in African American studies too, I believe.
Yeah. And a marketing management and MMS, certificate in marketing management.
And you did that at Duke too?
Yep, did it at Duke as well.
So why did we decide on those areas? And what do you think? Do you have a thought process as far as, listen, you're going to play for a long time. You're a successful guy out there on the field, but have you thought about post-career?
Yeah, I have. I think about it. I don't want to say I think about it all the time, but, I think about it now. I feel like I'm at this stage of my career where it's a thought that I always do, that I always have. At this point, man, I'm really trying to get into. I want to get into the real estate. That's what I want to do once I'm done. I bought a few properties in my area.
Down in Carolina?
Yeah, down in North Carolina. Just bought my folks in my house that they currently moving into, in the process of moving into, down in North Carolina as well.
Where? What town?
It's in Monroe.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of
where you guys grew up.
Yep, where I grew up. It's kind of more so on the edge of like getting into like the county, like in the country where we call it. I guess here it's like the suburbs, but it's the country, back home. But like I said, I got a few rental properties that this upcoming off season that I want to kind of get going, and got to go in and do some renovating stuff like that. So I'm still trying to learn it, and so just yesterday was the guy Bryce with us that worked with Zot.
Yep.
He had, they got a few programs at the NFL, PA. They offer like a few business things in the off season. I did one of those 3 years ago when I was in Washington. I did an internship with the Marriott headquarters in Bethesda, Maryland.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, I've been thinking, man. I know this football stuff don't last, man. So I've been trying to, dib and dab in certain things, see if I like it. What I can get into, after football.
Yeah, you should talk also to Brandon Copeland. We had him on the podcast. He's a big real estate guy as well.
Yeah.
But I want to know about Duke because here's basketball. You love hoops.
Yeah.
Duke is obviously one of the meccas in the college football. Wow.
College basketball.
Is close.
This guy made it a mecca college football wise because him and Cutcliffe. We'll get to him later.
Okay. Yeah, Coach we got my boy over there across the way playing pretty good.
You're tight with Quinn Cook, aren't you? Isn't that your guy?
Yeah, Quinn, pretty cool. Yeah,
And you were telling us before, but I want to bring it back on the podcast.
Okay.
When you were recruited to Duke, you played pickup just with one of the Plumleys and that team.
Yeah, that was the team that was. I want to say that was the team that was. So the year before.
So what year we talking about? Right
so
now?
We're talking about 20. So it was going into my senior year, and I graduated 2011. So it had to be like the summer of 2010.
Right.
The summer of 2010, going into my senior year. But the year before, Duke had won the national championship. That's when they had Nolan Smith. See, Nolan Smith and them had just graduated. So I think that year before that, that's when they had won it. And it was Kyrie was an incoming freshman. But anyway, make a long story short, was on a recruiting visit there, and it was during the summer. So me and my family were just there, and we ran into Marshall Plumlee, and we got to talking with him. My mom initiated the conversation. She's the talker. And we ended up, long story short, he asked me I want to come play pickup ball with them. So I ended up going to play pickup ball, and it was, Kyrie, Andre Dawkins, Josh Hairston, Tyler Thornton, all those guys, man. So we ended up playing pickup ball, and it was a great experience for me, just go out there and play with those guys, man. Like you said earlier, I held my own now, I held my own for sure. But it was cool though. It was cool.
Did you dunk?
No, I didn't dunk. Right. I didn't get a chance to get no dunk, man.
But this is fascinating to me because obviously you're an elite athlete, so sometimes we see overlapping, and you played high school ball. So you go to Duke, you're the top receiver from a statistical standpoint of all time at Duke, but you overlap with Kyrie Irving a few times, and you said, there were multiple times we got on the court. What did you think about him at that time? Did you know he was going to be what he's become? And also, how do you like playing at Cameron?
Yeah, it was cool. So we actually played pickup ball in the practice facility.
Okay, all right.
But I've been in Cameron, plenty of times. At the time, man, what was crazy though, I really didn't even know Kyrie like that, because he's a New Jersey guy, whatever. It's like a lot of times I used to follow obviously like a lot of guys from North Carolina area, but I ain't got worried. He like number one recruit, whatever. So that was cool. That was cool playing with him, and I think that, man, as far as point guards with scoring ability and with handles, he's definitely the top of my list. Even back then playing against him just pickup ball, and then obviously now one of the top guards in the NBA. So yeah, man, that's what I think about him, and it was cool. It was a great experience.
When you played with Plumlee and Kyrie, and you're going into your senior year of high school, like, are you freaking out, being like, holy crap, I'm about to play with the Duke team?
I can remember I was nervous. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, man, they just won a national championship. Like, I played, high school ball, but it's like a whole nother level. So that was cool. I was definitely a little nervous. But like I said, once I got out there and got to playing with those guys, and I scored a couple buckets, I was like, okay, I play a little bit,
But did you have your own? Did you have your own shoes? I mean, it's one thing them giving you clothes, but shoes are very important.
Man, if I can find a picture, my family had it, man. Man, Miles, he went back there, he got me dang on the shirt, shoes, shorts and everything. Cause I was just on the visit. I had jeans and a collar shirt, and then I was like, man, I don't have nothing. He's like, man, I take care of you. So
your parents watching this game?
Yeah, my parents was watching and everything. So
what'd your pops
I'm gonna find them pictures, man. I'm gonna find them pictures.
I want to see those.
Yeah, I want to see them.
Yeah, I'm gonna find them pictures for y'all.
What'd your pops say afterwards?
Man, he ain't say much, you know. And matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you who my pops had talked to afterwards. It was Wojciechowski, the guy. He was
who's at Marquette now. Who's a famous point guard for Coach K, of course.
My dad sat there and talked with him for a while after we had finished playing, and he was like, "Yeah, my son." He was telling me, "My son, could possibly be coming here on football scholarship." So it was just a great experience, man.
Did you talk to? So I'm gonna get to cut here in a second, but did you have an opportunity? Being such an established receiver there on the campus there in Durham, did you have any interaction with Coach K yourself?
Oh, I've met him a couple times after I graduated.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, that was crazy. So while I was there, I never had really, any interaction with him. I remember one time me and Quinn was just hanging out, and Quinn was on the phone with him, and I didn't say nothing, but other than that, it was after I graduated, my first time getting a chance to meet Coach K. So I've met him a few times, when I go back in the off season. So yeah.
David Cutcliffe, how did he get you to Duke, and what did he mean to your career? Not just there at Duke, but now as you're sitting here, a veteran in the National Football League.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got me there. I just felt like Duke was the right place for me. At the time, and it was kind of crazy how the recruiting process kind of happened, and how things kind of changed. At first, Duke was my first offer, so I was very thankful for that. And then Carolina came, and it was like East Carolina came, and a couple other schools, and so
no NC State.
NC State, yeah, I had NC State, Wake Forest. I had pretty much all the North Carolina schools. Right. Had a couple of smaller D1 AA schools, and initially, I really didn't know. I was kind of leaning towards Carolina, Duke, ECU was just up in the air. But Carolina, they wanted me to come in and play defensive back. So, like, when I was going on recruiting visits there, I was meeting with the defensive coordinator and the cornerback coach.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna, I ain't want to play no defense. I played defense in high school, both sides of the ball.
Sure.
But I really wasn't feeling, defense, at the next level. I felt like I was better with the ball in my hand. And then East Carolina, at the time they had like the air raid offense with Coach McNeil and Lincoln Riley was the offensive coordinator.
That's right.
So I was like, man, East Carolina, they real good. But the only thing with like East Carolina, one of the reasons why I didn't, choose to go there was, the conference that they played in. So I wanted my family to come to the game. So they were like in the, I don't want to say it wrong, but they were in the conference. They were playing like Tulane and Tulsa. So like a lot of their games
is that the American now? Is that
what
it is?
I don't know what it is, but a lot of their games were, some of the games were
it probably used
farther.
to be the Conference USA, maybe.
Conference USA, yeah. So like, some of the games like that were farther. And I was like, okay, ACC, Coach Cut, they want me to come in and play offense. And Coach Cut, they just made me feel like it was a home atmosphere. Like, they made me really feel like they bring me in, not tell me what I want to hear, but tell me what was right. But at the same time, make me feel like I'm a part of the program and everything. And then it was also the ACC. So, I thought about my family. Okay, if we're not playing at Duke, away game might be at UNC. That's right down the road. My family can still come. Or if we ain't playing at Duke, we might play at Wake Forest and Winston-Salem. My family can still come. So that's what really, got me there. And obviously, like I said, Coach Cut, they made me feel like really welcome and stuff. So, and then obviously, can't pass up on a Duke education. That was the main thing. So yeah, that's really how I got to Duke.
All right, so I want to bring things full circle here before we let you go. You do a lot of work in the community. You're talking about your family. You do a lot of work for kids with disabilities. So what have you done, and what do you hope to do in the future?
Well, we had the camp. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we had the camp down in North Carolina at Duke in the off season for kids with Down syndrome in that area, and then just trying to raise money and stuff like that. So next Tuesday, I want to say not next Tuesday, but the following Tuesday, it'll be November the 12th.
Okay.
I'm having an event at the Moe's
in Florham Park.
Yeah, in Florham Park, and I'm gonna sign some autographs. I'll be there from 5 to 8. And, just the proceeds, the money that come in is going to go to the National Down Syndrome Foundation and everything. So
love that.
Yeah, so that's coming up. That'll be November the 12th.
Is the camp in Duke? Is that the one that you worked with my friend in Syracuse, Michelle Sagan?
Yep, that's her.
Shout out to Michelle.
Yeah.
What should people know about families who have somebody with Downs, and what is out there that is just a misperception that people think when they hear Downs?
Yeah, I mean, I think something that people should know. Well, I know for like just speaking from experience are some of the challenges. Just the challenges, day-to-day challenge. Like, in my area, we don't really have a lot of resources for Jamars or for my family. My family want to go out and do certain things. There's not a lot of resources, not a lot of places they can go where they have, centers or something where they can teach, on their level or help them, develop. So a lot of that stuff, my family, myself, we have to do on ourselves. So I think that's one of the things that, for me personally, I want to get my brother, and I know there's a lot of other families out there in the same situation, get my brother exposed to, just, come together and, talk about the challenges, different families talk about the challenges, and then try to come up with a solution or something where we can help, those families that don't have those resources in those areas that, can help their family member with Downs grow and develop. So that's the main thing that I think is on a day-to-day challenges that I see. So.
I gotta ask, and your family's been incredible with that. And I think, and what you're doing on the November 11th?
November the 12th.
November the 12th. So you got to get out there, meet Jamison, get a photo taken with them,
and get something from Moe's.
Yeah, and the proceeds are
Moe's.
Going. Yep.
I posted on my Instagram. It's out there. I'll just keep
give the shout out on your Instagram. What's the handle?
Yeah. Oh man, my Instagram J_crowd80.
We got to ask you, man, though, before you get out. You're going back to Washington here soon.
Yeah.
Well, I know you just be looking for a victory, but
for sure.
what goes through your mind? The opportunity to go back and play against the team that drafted you, and you had a number of good seasons there before signing with the Jets in free agency.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a game I'm looking forward to. Obviously I'm looking forward to this game this week. I'm looking forward to going to Washington as well. playing against those guys, a lot of guys I know. Have a really good relationship with, Washington, man. I just look at it, as a blessing. They gave me an opportunity to get into this league, into this business. They drafted me and gave me an opportunity to get my foot in the door. So I appreciate it, but I definitely look forward to playing on
November 12th, Moe's, Florham Park. Meet Jamison.
Yep.
We appreciate you coming.
5 p.m. to 8 p.m.
5 to 8, November 12th, Moe's, Florham Park.
We got to have you back on.
Yeah, we do. We got to have a hoop segment.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, we need to. Talk a little basketball.
Yeah, no doubt.
Love it.
All right, that was the official Jets podcast powered by AWS. Here in the Play MGM studios, you can find us NewYorkJets.com, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, pretty much wherever. Jamison, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate it.
We'll have you back on for some hoop talk.
All right, sounds good.